D130. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, depending on where you're joining us from. You're welcome to the TLI Afterwork session for tonight. I see our facilitator is in the room. I see our moderator is in the room. I see some of us are also in the room. I see a few club presidents around. Please, I want us to take out the next 5 seconds to send a reminder to our divisions, the various divisions that we're in, the various areas that we're in, and to the various clubs that we're in as much as we can. I want us to fill up this room for tonight because our facilitator for tonight is fully power packed to deliver. So we have to fill up the room. So please take the next few seconds and just share out a reminder in our various divisions, the entire divisions that we have in the whole of District 130. Please share out reminders there, share out reminders in our areas, share out reminders in our various clubs, please. And then as we do that, those of us that are on the call, kindly put in the chat where you're joining us from. So I am a member of Division G, and I'm joining live from Kaduna City. It's a state in the northwest of Nigeria. So please kindly let us know in the chat where you're joining us from, which division you're joining us from, and which city you're joining us from. District 130, let me have it from us. So I'm looking at the chat and I'm waiting to see how many divisions we have in the chat books and how many cities we're joining in live from. I don't see any chats yet. District 130, don't be cold on me this evening, please. Let me see it from our chart. Where are you joining us from? Which division are you in? And then where are you joining us from? Which city are you joining us from, please? Let's know. And then while we're doing that, please, I want each and every one of us to send out reminders in our various division, the various division that we're in, and the various clubs that we're in, please. Let's send out reminders. We are live. We are live already. All right, I see our facilitator have responded already. Division C, and from the Capital Territory of Nigeria, Abuja. Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing that. Who else have shared? Division C from Abuja, yes, our moderator for tonight also. Division D, all right, Toastmaster IB, I see you. Which city are you joining in from, Toastmaster IB? So as we do that, I'll introduce myself and then I'll make way for our division director to welcome us officially before I call in the moderator for tonight. Oh, Toastmaster IB in transit. Oh, nice. All right. I wish you safe journey into the capital city of Nigeria. Mr. President, Toastmaster Lawan Mansir, I see you, Division D. Thank you for joining. Please, let's send in our reminders. Let's send out our reminders in our various divisions and our various clubs, please. We want this room to be filled up because I know our facilitator for tonight. So I know that it's going to be power packed, it's going to be insightful, please. Let's send out more reminders as we join in. My name is Grace Mekano. Like I said, I'm from Division G, District 130, Area 30, Gemstone Toastmasters Club, Kaduna, Nigeria. I'm privileged to be opening up the Afterwork session for tonight. And I'm happy to welcome every one of you from the various divisions that we have across the District 130. I'm not going to be the moderator for tonight. We have a very pivotal moderator that is going to be our pilot for tonight's session. But before I read the bio of our moderator, I'm checking if our division director is in the room yet. Okay, our division director is yet to join. Our division director is yet to join the room to do the proper welcoming. So I'll welcome us in my own words, then I'll call the moderator so that we can kickstart. We're already 7 minutes into our time. My name is Grace Mekanu, and I'd like to welcome every one of you for the Afterwork session organized by the TLI team for District 130. I am happily one of the assistants for the English session of the TLI team for the Afterwork sessions that we have in District 130. Tonight is going to be power-packed. Tonight is going to be insightful, but I'm not going to be the pilot for tonight. The pilot for tonight is a renowned Toastmaster. I'll go ahead to share his bio as he ushering to take us through the entire session for tonight. So our moderator for tonight is Toastmaster Rulwan Alebiosu. He is a passionate communicator and leader, currently serving as the president of Apex Toastmasters Club and a vice president education of the club. Through Toastmasters, he has honed his skills in communication, public speaking, storytelling, and leadership, consistently inspiring audience with his engaging and thought-provoking delivery. Toastmaster Rolwan is a seasoned professional in the change culture and innovation space at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Rolwan brings real-world insight into his speeches, blending experience with authenticity. He's committed to continuous growth and uses every speaking opportunity to connect, inspire, and create impact. Without any further ado, District 130. Can we use different emojis to welcome our moderator for tonight? Toastmaster Rulwan Alebiosun. Toastmaster Rulwan Alebiosun, the floor is yours. Come on, let's put our hands together. Different emojis in that chat box, please. Let's make welcome our moderator for tonight. All right, Toastmaster Rulwan, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I didn't see any emoji, so I'm thinking I'm not welcome as the moderator.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So let me start with a simple question this evening. How many of us have ever voted in an election? How many? Let me see the hands, virtual hands. How many of us have ever voted in an election? So what typically happens after the election? We start complaining. That's what typically happens. I know, I can see the face. Isn't that interesting? But the truth is, election is not just about choosing any leader. It's about choosing the leader that we know will support the future that we all want. Every time we come to a Toastmasters meeting, we said, one of our promises to everybody is that we'll create an environment that is necessary for all members to learn and grow. So if we don't choose the leaders that will help us learn and grow, how are we to learn and grow? Today, what we'll be exploring as a topic is how to succeed in club officer election. And in selecting club officer election, it's not just about selecting individual, it's a collective commitment for us to choose the people that will actually help us grow our clubs and make our clubs smoothly distinguished. Because it is when we succeed as individuals, that is when we can succeed collectively. And let me tell you, I've been a vice president education. I am a president at Apex Toastmasters. And I must tell you, no matter how fantastic your president is, no matter how fantastic your vice president education is, if your vice president membership is dropping the ball, it becomes practically impossible for you to grow your club. But for today, I won't be the one to tell us the nitty-gritty about how we can successfully choose our leaders. What better time to discuss this than a time when we are going to be choosing the next people that will be leading us, not just in our clubs, but in Toastmasters International generally. Can you confirm if the division director is on board with us so we can take his speech before I introduce our trainer for today? Okay. So we'll be going straight into the training for today. And our trainer for today is somebody I've respected a lot. I've seen him from far, I've seen him from near, and I was the first time I actually get to shake his hands. Our moderator for today joined Toastmasters International in the year 2019. So call him a veteran, you are not wrong, because he's been paying tuition as a Toastmaster for the past 7-8 years. That's a long time to continue paying. He has served as Vice President Membership, Vice President Education, President of Emerald Toastmasters Club, when he was awarded the most outstanding club in his division during his tenure. He has also served as Area Director and he earned the President's Distinguished. So when I tell you that the person that will be training us today is not only able, is capable in terms of delivering whatever he needs to deliver. Aside from that, he has served as club mentor, coach, and sponsor for a number of clubs. He's an alumnus of the Ahmad Bello University Zaria and is currently a student of Harvard Business School. He's an entrepreneur and currently leads a real estate service company which grows wealth for individuals and organizations through the real estate sector, among other services. He enjoys hiking. He believes in exercise as a lifestyle and enjoys playing squash and is a lifelong learner. His favorite quote is, "Fail early, fail often, and fail forward." With a resounding round of applause. Let me see the emojis. If not, I'm not announcing these names. If I don't see the emojis, I'm not announcing these names. If I don't see the emojis, I'm not announcing this name. With a resounding round of applause, please help me make welcome a distinguished Toastmaster, a leader exemplified, an example of leadership in its best form. Please make welcome distinguished Toastmaster Zenim Sagwak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Can you confirm you can hear me and see me as well?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you, sir.
Thank you very much for that warm welcome. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I believe there are no guests in the house. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmasters. You're all welcome to today's session. And today we're looking at a very topical issue regarding which is successfully electing club officers. Now, I will swiftly be sharing my screen. Just give me a minute to do that, please. Can you confirm you can see my screen, please?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. All right, today we're looking at successfully electing club officers. I love the fact that our moderator asked us a lot of a question, or open his session with a question asking us how many of us have ever voted before now. Now let me ask you the same question. Within the Toastmasters community, how many of you have ever voted before now? Kindly indicate with the emoji if you've ever cast a vote for any club officer within the Toastmaster community. Please indicate with a show of hand. Here, as I can see, Toastmaster Saida, Toastmaster Alibiosu, Toastmaster Grace. Thank you. Thank you very much for your responses. Now, the objective of this session is one, to ensure leadership continuity and to also drive distinguished club programs as well as provide growth opportunities. A wise man said, any success without a successor is a failure. And I dare add to that to say any success without a successful successor is a failure. So it's not enough that you're doing well as a president, but if the next president after you doesn't do well or even better than what you did, then it means you have not really done a very good job. It's not enough for you to serve as a vice president membership, vice president education within the club. But whoever steps into your shoes should be able to do an exceptional job, or worst case scenario, maintain the standard. Moderator, can you confirm to me how many minutes I have for this? That I'll time myself. Moderator, are you there?
Yes, I'm trying to unmute. Yes, I'm here. I don't know.
Okay, please, can you confirm how many minutes I have, please, for the third time?
You have 20. You have 20 minutes, please.
Okay, I have 20 minutes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right. A question: how many elections do you usually have within the Toastmasters? So please, I'd like us to unmute and share responses where possible. How many elections do you have within the Toastmasters calendar year? In the club, that's within, making reference to the club at the club level now. I can call names. I'm free to do that if I don't get your responses. Toastmaster Benedict Agbo. I have Toastmaster Amos. How many elections do we have within a Toastmaster calendar year? 1, 2, or 3? Just indicate if you can't unmute, you can drop a message on the chat group. All right, 1. Thank you, Toastmaster Benedict. 1 general election elections when the need arises. Excellent. For officer terms. Excellent. That's Toastmaster OJ. Toastmaster Grace, typical 1. If it's a 12-month cycle. Excellent. And what if it's a 6-month cycle? Question: what if it is a 6-month cycle? What if the club is operating a 6-month elections would take place in that club within a calendar year? Can I get responses? It's obvious that most of the clubs actually run the 12-month cycle. All right, Toastmaster OJ, twice a year for 6 months club. Excellent, beautiful. In fact, let me share a little secret. I'm not here to train you guys. We're here to chit chat and refresh our memories regarding this subject in the Toastmasters community. Now, All right. Election timelines and preparation. Sometimes you never know you can until you try. And when you try, you never know you can do better until you stretch yourself. Please indicate with a show of hand if you accepted to serve as a club officer at first request. Can I get responses? Usually the typical example, or rather the typical outcome for most individuals is when they are asked to serve as club executives, a lot of people shy away from it. It seems like most of us, in some cases, were persuaded to accept the responsibility. How many of us accepted the role in which we're serving in for the first time without ever turning it down? If we did, let me see you indicate with a show of hand. Toastmaster Alibio, so let me put you on the spot. Please unmute your mic.
You know, this is not fair.
So tell me, what was your first role as the club executive?
It was
in your
Vice
club?
President Education.
So tell me, what was your first reaction when you were asked to serve in that capacity in 20 seconds?
I stopped going for club meetings. So DTM Alasan noticed that called me. Now, why did you stop coming for club meetings? And I told him that because I was told that I would be the Vice President of Education, and I saw the level of work the person that was there was putting into it. So I told him that it wasn't what I was ready to do. Moreover, I don't want to combine it with work and the fact that I'm going to school. So I ran away from club meetings.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that response. Toastmaster Grace, kindly unmute your mic and possibly turn on your video and share with us your experience when you were asked to serve as a club executive for the first time.
Good evening, everyone. I was asked to serve. My first position was as club secretary. And that was barely 2 months after I joined Toastmasters. I was confused because I didn't understand how I'm barely 2 months and I'm asked to serve as a club secretary. Yeah, so I was confused. I didn't run away, Sha. I actually did the work, but I was confused at the beginning.
Okay, thank you very much for that response. Let me get the final response from any of our participants. Toastmaster Amos Adereti, are you a club executive? If you are, kindly unmute and share your experience. If it's convenient for you to unmute and respond. Toastmaster Benedict Agbo, if Toastmaster Amos is not close to his device or if it's not convenient, please, Toastmaster Benedict, can you unmute? Tell us if you are a club executive.
All right, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Amos.
All right, good evening, sir. I'm currently a club executive. I'm serving as the sergeant at arms, and this is the first role I will be serving as a Toastmaster.
Okay. What's the name of your club, please, if I may ask?
Okay, Ikeja Toastmasters. That's in the Division D.
Okay, so what was your reaction when you were asked to serve as, or when you were nominated to serve as sergeant at arms?
Well, I was surprised because I thought one would have been a member for 2-3 years before taking up executive roles. So I was just, I think, maybe 3 months after I signed up. That was when I was called upon. I rejected it, but I was persuaded and told that I'll be guided through the role. So that was what made me to accept.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Amos. Now, I love the fact that you used a word. Most people usually don't get comfortable when they are asked to serve in leadership capacity for the first time within the Toastmaster community. But you said, Toastmaster Amos said, he was persuaded. And most of us know about one of the paths that we have within the Toastmasters pathway program, which is persuasive influence, right? So it is very important that every club executive should bear behind his or her mind that most of the people you approach, even though they show the potential of doing well within whatever capacity that you want to nominate them to serve, that most of them would most likely say a no. Now, this is where your persuasive skills need to come into play. You need to know how to persuade them to take up this leadership role. Take note of the word I'm using, persuade, not beg, not plead, not cajole. You persuade, you make them see what they will stand to benefit when they choose to serve in that capacity. I have the current club with the current vice president education of my club, Emerald Toastmasters Club, literally turned down that nomination last year. However, a few days ago, I was having a chat with her. She said she's glad that she took up that responsibility because it has helped her immensely, help her planning skills, how to manage her emotions. You know, as a vice president education, when you be disappointed last minute by role players. And she shared lots of other skill sets that she has developed by serving as the vice president of education. So I want every one of us to bear this in mind, especially our club executives that would need or that are penning down names that they will nominate to serve in their capacity. Get ready for a no. But beyond the no, bear in mind that you need to know how or to learn how to persuade these nominees to take up their roles. And in persuading them, paint a picture of what they will learn, of what they will become. Share your personal stories with them. How you probably chickened out when you were asked to serve initially, and how it has also transformed you as a leader within the Toastmasters community. So please, I need us to all bear that at the back of our mind. Sorry, my slide seems to be taking a lot of time to move to the next. Now, regarding our elections, now we've talked about the timeline. The timeline for elections, while I work on my slides to move to the next page, on my PowerPoint, the next page. Regarding our timeline, please, we're in the month of April, and we're moving into the month of May in a few weeks. For clubs that meet either annually or they have a 12-year calendar circle for their executives, or a 6-month calendar circle, the month of May is actually the season for election. So at this time, it is expected that the club executive already have a leadership committee that will be in charge of handling the electoral process of your club. Please pardon me, just give me a minute. Now, regarding the electoral process, it is also important for us to note that club executives that are allowed to be part of the electoral team. However, the president particularly is advised not to be part of that team. Now, the immediate past president, where possible, should be assigned to chair the electoral team. And in the situation where the immediate past president is not available, then any of the past presidents or an area director can be contacted to serve in that capacity. Please, I might need to share. Okay, good, sorry. All right. Election dates, rules, and responsibilities. Be made available to club members before call for nominations. What do I mean by election dates? By now, clubs should know, every club member should know when the election dates will be taking place. Secondly, the roles and responsibilities of each club executive should be made known. Share it. It is expected that you are supposed to share. That's the electoral team should share those roles and their responsibilities on the platform to inform, to educate the members on what each and every responsibility is all about. For instance, you've had members nominated to serve as vice president membership. And when it's time for renewal, they tell you, oh, I didn't know that I'm supposed to follow up on members in order to remind them of membership renewals. So that means there is a gap in terms of knowledge. So it's very pertinent that the electoral team gets members informed of their various duties. That way, when a member is nominated to serve in any capacity, he or she already knows the challenges that he or she would face when serving in that capacity. For instance, if you are nominated to serve as a vice president education, you should know that you are going to be a very, very good team player, planner of the meetings, and a whole lot. That is one of the most sensitive roles. In fact, to me, that is the most sensitive role within the Toastmasters club executive. A club cannot do without the vice president education, but the club might do by having a member doubling roles, maybe serving as sergeant at arms and vice president membership, but you need to have, where possible, all the executives filled in. This picture was taken in the year 2022. And at this time, it was a strategic meeting when our club then, Emerald Toastmasters Club, was trying to birth a club, the real Toastmasters Club. And we have our president, Alassane Mohammed. I was the vice president membership. And these are the executives. So it was a strategic meeting. So this brings us to another important point. It is not enough for you as the president to sit and assume that the next person that will be the president will be Mr. A. You'll be the only one to now nominate all the club executives. No, it should be teamwork. The executives need to sit down, look at the strengths of the members that they have, their individual strengths and weaknesses. Who do you think would do better as a vice president membership? Who do you think would serve better as a sergeant at arms? Who do you think would do well as a vice president education or vice president public relation? So I want each and every one of us to bear it at the back of our minds that it is actually the collective effort of the executives for the sake of continuity, right? And also raising quality leaders to sit together and look at the strengths and nominate members accordingly, not a one-man show. And in your nomination, please remember not to be biased. Look at people that are available. Look at people that are willing to serve. There are members that might be available but not willing to serve. And there are members that are willing to serve that might not be available. And there are members that are willing to serve, might probably be available, but don't have the capacity. For instance, for a member that is finding it very difficult to renew his membership dues, always finding it difficult to renew membership dues, and I want to make such a person a club president. Leadership, we all know, is by example. So you should always nominate members that will influence others positively, that would also lead the way and lead by example. All right, election timeline. So let's look at this. Like we rightly mentioned earlier, elections take place yearly with clubs operating annual office terms in the month of May. Elections are conducted twice a year for clubs with semi-annual office terms. Now take note, a quorum of more than 50% of active club members is required for elections to take place. If you have a club of 20 people, more than 50% of the active members that are in good standing. So if you have a club of 20 people, we need minimum 11 members that have renewed their dues, that are in good standing, to be available for that and at that meeting for you to form a quorum. Elections are also conducted during a duly called business meeting. And let's also bear in mind that nominations from the floor are also open. So irrespective of the fact that members will submit their nominations to the electoral committee, note that nominations are meant, the presiding officer must also call for nominations from the floor for each person, that's for each capacity, each office. For instance, Sergeant at Arms, if Toastmaster Grace has been nominated to serve as Sergeant at Arms, during the election, the presiding officer is also meant to ask if there is any other nomination from the floor. If there is, then it means that an election proper will take place between these two parties or these two members. But if there is none, then the secretary, the club secretary, will cast a vote on behalf of the club in favor of the nominated member. And finally, a candidate is also elected by a simple majority vote of the active members present and voting. Now, very important, take note of this. Members that will cast their vote must be present, number one. 2, they must be members of that club. 3, they must be in good standing, meaning that their membership dues must be up to date. So for a member to be voted for, or for a member to cast his or her vote, he must be a member of your club, he must be in good standing. And regarding the presence of that person at the club meeting, his presence, he might be voted in proxy. However, the electoral committee must have reached out to all nominees to confirm if they accept the nominations and if they are willing to serve if elected. Very important to take note. But for you to cast your vote, you must be present at the business meeting. Do you have any questions regarding this? I have a few minutes to go. We're almost done. I'll just have a slide left. Any questions regarding this, the election timeline that I just shared and talked about? All right. In the absence of any question, I'll move to, now we have what we call post-election. When members are elected, it is important to note that you are expected to submit the list of the newly elected executives and their contact information to all headquarters that's before June 30th for an annual club, or rather for a club that runs annually, or before 31st December for a club that runs semi-annually. So for a club that runs semi-annually, 31st December or March, I beg your pardon, 31st December or June 30th for clubs that meet weekly. the existing executives are to provide guidance and handover. One of the things that we usually hear, how many of you here can't wait to finish your tenure as club executives? I heard so many people say, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to finish my tenure as a club executive. If you're here, please indicate with a show of hands. If you can't wait to hand over to your newly elected executives when they get elected, please indicate by show of hand. Do I have anyone here? There's none. Interesting. I've heard a lot of members, president, vice president elections. Oh, I can't wait. Please wait. Please, I beg of you to wait. Now, it's very important for us to note that we also need to share our knowledge. That the outgoing executives should also share their knowledge and experiences with the incoming executives. And it's not a one-time thing. It's not a one-off thing. You should be willing to provide guidance when called upon. You should be available to provide support until they are standing on their feet. So please, our current executive president, it's not a time for you to sign out and disappear and no show up at club meetings. No, that would make the new executives or the newly elected executives to have cold feet. But your presence is to help support, give them reassurance. Even when they are not doing well, you use the CRC method, comment, recommend, in order to give them feedback for continuous improvement. Very important, please. Do I have any questions so far? Is there any question? None. All right, my time is up. Thank you. So I have a question. My time is up and there are no questions. So I want to believe that everyone here understands or understood everything that I've talked about. I have a question. What happens when you have two members contesting for a particular office and there is a tie after the election? What happens? I need your responses.
Sir, you didn't teach us.
I asked if there was a question. No one raised any hand to indicate that that he or she has a question. So if you don't have a question, let me ask you my own question. What happens when you have two members, club members, contesting for a seat or for an office? Let's assume Toastmaster A and Toastmaster B contesting for the office of vice president membership, and you cast votes, and each of them have 5 votes each. What happens?
Okay, yes, I should try.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
yes,
evening.
I think that the secretary has the veto power to pick one of them. My thoughts, though. Thank you.
Thank you very much for a nice shot. Thank you, Toastmaster Josephine. Any other? Let me take the final response. Final response.
There will still be there should still be a vote or something. There should be voting done.
Yes. You can votes can also be done again in order to get a winner. And if you also have the same case reoccurring, then a designated member from the club who has not cast his vote, right? And if that person is in that club meeting, can be asked to cast just a single vote for an individual, and that will determine the outcome of the winners of that for that office. So please, I want us to take notes that we have lots of information on the Toastmasters website. We have.
Sorry, can you take that again? Can you take that again? The solution to that, please. Thank you.
Okay, the solution to that is you cast a fresh ballot again. So if after casting the first ballot, you're having 5-5 each, you cast a second ballot ask all members to vote again. If the same scenario plays out, then a designated member who has not cast or who has not voted, right, who is also a member of that club that has not voted in the previous elections, can be asked to cast a single vote, and whoever he casts for will end up being the winner if they keep on getting a tie. So please go to Toastmasters website. There's FAQ, frequently asked questions, on club officers elections. Go through them. Arm yourself with knowledge. We also have the club constitution for clubs of Toastmasters International. Go through them. It will help equip you. Thank you very much. Okay, I have a hand raised. Let me just attend to that as I sign out. Adams Ishaku raised. Adams Ishaku, yes, sir. Do you have a question?
No, not a question, sir. Just to respond to the question you asked. I feel like if in that scenario, maybe numbers should be written like 0 and 1, then the two of them should pick. Anyone that picks 0 will fail. The one that picks 1 becomes the winner.
Okay,
Just
thank you very
way
much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Remember that Toastmasters International has a constitution, and there are guidelines for all our activities within the Toastmasters community. Now, based on the Toastmasters guideline, you cast the vote again, and then if a designated member will be assigned to cast a single vote. So please remember to go through the FAQ questions on club officers election and also the club constitution. Thank you very much for having me. And with this, I say my time is up. So I wish each and every one of you a successful conduct of your election, of your electoral process. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster Real One, our moderator.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Zenim. Please confirm if you can hear and see me.
Yes.
Sometimes you never know you can until you try, and when you try, you never know you can do better until you stretch yourself. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Zenim, for those wonderful nuggets. I am sure everybody here had not just listened to you, but you see with the quality of engagement, they have listened, they have taken some cues. I'm sure they will be applying them in their election period. You told us to persuade them so that they can see the benefit it offers for the people we'll be telling to come up. You also reminded us that May is the month for re-election. You gave us timeline for the elections, and not just that, it made us know that during the election, for those that will be voting, they need to be physically present. If not physically present, then they need to be present. Aside from being present, they need to be in good standing, and we must get at least more than half of our members to be participants in that election. Thank you very much for brushing up our knowledge, for impacting more knowledge on us. It's always a delight to have you speak to us all the time. Now we're moving quickly. I don't think there are questions because all the questions were already handled. But then if there are any questions, please, by show of hands, can we see so that we can let the Toastmaster Zenim take the questions? By show of hands. Okay. I can't see any hands, so I'm sure we are clear. And if there are any other things we need to know, there's a lot of resources on the Toastmasters website. You can go to the FAQ like we've been told. And I'm sure where you don't find clarification or answers, I'm sure you can get through to distinguished Toastmasters Zenim or any leaders in your district or division. We'll be moving straight to what's next for us so we can wrap up as early as possible. That will be the toasts. So I'll be calling on the TLI team. Or do you have the division director here if he wants to say some few words before we go to that? Tail lighting, please.
Hello, Mr. Moderator. I think you can invite Toastmaster Saida to share the quiz.
Okay, Toastmaster Saida, you have the floor. So let's move quickly to the quiz. Toastmaster Saida.
Yes, thank you for giving me the floor. Now, I would like to ask to Isama Dugu to allow me to share my screen, please. Isama Dugu, can you allow? All right, let me try. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen now.
All right, thank you, my fellow leaders. Dear Toastmasters, today we are going to make a little game. And for today, we are going to guess something. This is my indices. We are going to find the airline partner of the Libreville 2026 conference. And for this, I have these indices. First, ASCII. Second, Fly Gabon. Third, both. And now you have the floor. I will ask to Muhammad to help me to find if someone wrote in the chat, or the one who has the answer can just take the floor and answer. And I will check if it is the right one. We are trying to find the airline partner of the district conference. A, ASCII, or B, Fly Gabon, or C, both. Muhammad, did someone else answer?
Aisha answered
Yes,
ASCII.
Ashata said ASCII.
Oh, no. It's not ASCII.
Okay.
I'm still waiting.
Everybody is saying ASCII, and then
Everybody, so I will keep my book.
Moderator Rilwan said both. And then Benedict Abo said Fly Gabon.
Who said Fly Gabon? The first
Benedict
one.
Abo.
Congratulations, dear Benedict. The right answer is Fly Gabon. And for this, we will have a wonderful book. This book about the cognitive neuroscience from Gazaniga. I cannot read the name of the author. And you will receive also this certificate. Please share your email address with Muhammad. I would like to thank also all these people who are managing to help us have a wonderful time in Libreville. See you. Back to you, dear Toastmaster of the day. Dear moderator, you have the floor. Dear moderator, you have the floor. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much, Saida. I was hoping to win your prize, but nevertheless, see you. I'm sure I'll be winning your prize some other time. So final word from the Libreville conference. Muhammad is taking us on that.
Okay, I'm going to take District 130 info. Thank you so much, Saida. You may stop sharing your screen so I can share my own. Saida, please stop sharing your screen. All right, thank you. Please confirm you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. You're welcome to the District 130 News with me, Mama Dekrama. As you all know, the 2026 speech contest second semester, which is the international speech and evaluation contest, has been taking place since February. We've had the club contest, the area contest, and now in April, the division contests are ongoing, and they are going to wrap up on April 30th. But something important and groundbreaking is coming up. The district contest, which is going to define who gets to represent West and Central Africa at the international stage in Canada. That is going to happen in Libreville on May 21st to May 22nd. Some of the winners of the division contests are already getting ready, so you should also get ready to be there. Next up is the District 130 conference. You've heard about it, you've been seeing the flyers, you've been hearing the buzz, but the time is now. Right now that you are in this room, bring out your phone or screenshot this slide. Use the QR code and get yourself registered. You are supposed to be in Libreville. Nothing should stop you from being at the District 130 conference. You need to be there. It is coming up on May 21st to May 23rd in Libreville in Gabon. And something interesting for the Nigerian delegates is going to take place. They are going to be following Rwanda, and they're going to be spending 2 days in Rwanda to explore Rwanda before they get to Gabon. And then they are going to arrive in Gabon on May 21st. And that is going to be a groundbreaking arrival because they are going to explore Africa. If you've never been to Rwanda, if you've never taken the chance to visit Rwanda or see most of Africa, this is the chance for you to be able to do that. Mr. Zoom Master, is the video ready? Isa, if the video is ready, please let me know. I think our Zoom Master is not with us, and this brings us to the end of the District 130 News. See you again at another Afterwork session. Bye-bye. Mr. Moderator, I think I'll go ahead to take the closing remarks. Okay, now can you see my video?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. I want to specially and specifically thank our trainer, because one of the greatest gray areas in Toastmasters is electoral processes. A lot of Toastmasters have been in Toastmasters for years, but they've never experienced electoral processes in action. And with the session you gave us today, how you untangled and uncoupled all of it and brought it together to bit sizes where we can understand and implement. That was incredible. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmasters, and you're one of a kind. And thank you so much, Toastmaster Rilwan, for being a great moderator. You showed up, you did it, and as you can see, it's not as scary as it looks. So we are hoping you're coming back again to join Afterwork sessions and to play a role at Afterwork sessions. While that was happening, I've noticed that a number of people have joined the room. We notably among them are the Division D Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Abubakar Gimba, and at some point, Distinguished Toastmaster Inyang Ate Inyang, Division C Director. And then I've seen a number of present and past area directors that have joined the Afterwork session. Thank you so much for showing up. Present and past club presidents, present and past club executives, thank you so much for showing up. Ensure that this knowledge you've packed trickles down to the club members, that they're able to implement it in the electoral cycle that is coming up in May. Let every club experience what it means to have a proper election that is not a Nigerian election and that is not going to be defined by any INEC chairman, but a club president that is fair and is embodying leadership and practicing it. So thank you so much for showing up, and we look forward to seeing you at the next Afterwork session or the first one that is happening in May. Thank you so much, everyone. You may now unmute yourself, turn on your video, say your camaraderies, connect with people that you haven't seen in a while, and then we call it the night. Thank you, Toastmaster Ilwan. Hello, Toastmaster Grace.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Everyone, have a pleasant
DTM.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. See you in Gabon for those of you that will be in Gabon.
Bye, DTM-CI.
How is every
Bye.
preparation for Gabon?
Thank you.
We are trying to find money and to go there.
Master Saida, see you in Gabon.
Yes, the name
Ikram,
DTM.
are you going to Gabon? That's the question.
Sorry?
We are still planning. The amount is a bit at the top, but don't worry.
Yes, it's at the top. It's like when we were
so the choice for me is between Canada and Gabon, because Canada is also the same amount as Gabon. You know,
are you kidding me?
Yes, it is the same amount.
It's at the same level.
Yeah, it's on the same level. It is. So if you're going to Gabon from Nigeria without a hotel, you are spending 2.5 million. And then with your hotel, depending on the hotel you select, you're going to about 700 or 750,000. So that puts it about 3.2 to 3.3 million. And then Canada is also about the same range. So you need to now decide whether you're going for the district or the international convention. Yes, but I mean, DTM-CI is going there, so they're going to be representing us, and then others.
Well, DTM-CI could pay my flight ticket, and I will pay for the hotel or the others. DTM-CI.
Done.
I'm counting on you.
Done.
Saida, are you going to Gabon?
Dear moderator, thank you, dear trainer. It was wonderful.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Have a great evening.
Bye, Toastmaster Grace.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.